Hey guys, welcome to this week of Unfiltered. This is, I don't even know what week it is. I'm actually filming this prior to the week starting the way it's supposed to be done, so this is the right intro. I have no idea what's going to happen this week. I do know that tomorrow, according to USPS tracking, my 3 fuel will be in. So starting Tuesday, I will be doing my bulletproof coffee when I first wake up and come to the gym. I'll be working out between 6 and 7. Immediately following, I will be doing my post-WOD recovery shake, which will be 3 fuel. And then I will eat about 3 more times through the day, late morning, mid-afternoon, and then evening. That'll probably consist of and I'm also going to incorporate a green drink of some kind that's going to help increase the macronutrients that I would get from leafy greens in veggies. In talking to Kay, I wasn't sure if I was getting enough vegetables in my diet, so I wanted to be sure that I did. And the way she's like, yeah, there's this, I'll figure out what the fuck it's called by the end of the week. But so I'm gonna include that in my late afternoon. Cold's almost totally gone, and this week I'm gonna get back on track strength training wise. Start my deadlift squat press protocol for the week. Start doing arm bars and using the cross symmetry. So continue to improve my shoulders especially, and dialing in, getting more sleep like I did this week. I was much better. Getting around 6 hours, close to 6 hours, just over 6 hours almost every night. And lo and behold, I got my cold got better quicker. And I didn't even take a bunch of cold medications and stuff like that after last Monday. I was like, fuck that. I had these horrible, almost drunk effects to it. And I was like, I ain't even fucking around. I'm just going to take my airborne and get more sleep. And ta-da, almost better. Looking forward to this week. It's going to be a good week. I'm just going to I'm going to get my WODs in. I'm going to get my strength in, and hopefully, not hopefully, I'm going to get I'm going to continue dialing diet and get my sleep, continue to keep it on track. Got a good night's sleep last night and the night before, so sleep's doing much better. And now we just, take that knob and now we turn it up a little bit. Adaptation, things are good. Turn it up, crank it up a little bit. So try to get some workout video in, some of me lifting, maybe some random fucking thoughts throughout the week. I don't know. We're going to play with it, try to add content, and still try to keep it at 20 minutes and under. Yeah, I like doing this pre to the week because I have no fucking clue what's coming. And it's like I said, this is supposed to be straight and unfiltered. And I guess realistically, if I do the intro at the end of the week, it's not really unfiltered because the experience of that week by default filters me. So these are my hopes for the week. Let's see what happens. And on that note, here's your week of Unfiltered. Let's see what the fuck happens. Okay, so I didn't do any updates on my laptop this week, but I will for this coming week. Today's Monday. So I didn't get to do this yesterday because I had everything at home, but it was insanely cold, and I just was not going to sit in the garage and do the wrap up, amongst other things. So what's going to happen, this is going to cut away, and I'm going to actually, so thank you, Brian Sieber, who has become my tech support even at a distance. He showed me he sent me a link to a good how-to video on how to watch or film my screen and audio at the same time. So I'll do that. I'll do that. I'm going to show you both the dashboard and what my 23andMe looks like, and walk you through it, talk you through it, and then show you some of the update on my Fitbit dashboard. So it should all come together a little bit more nicely. Therefore, this is a short video. And there you go. And then I'll do a wrap up after I do that, and get going for this next week. Opens 2 weeks away, but as luck would have it, or as bad luck would have it, as it stands right now, I'm going to be gone on military duties for a few weeks of the Open. So it seems like things are a little more FUBAR than I had planned, but that's okay. Still going to do as best I can. I don't think I'll be doing RX this year, which was the goal, but hey, life happens, and that's kind of the cool part about this journey. But the good thing is actually, so maybe what I'll do is I'll do the whole thing scaled, every single workout, and see how I do. And then, boom, I'll use that as the baseline for next year. Find out where I'm weak, find out where I need work, and then put that into my focus for this coming year. I have a good sense of that already, but it's better to have a random test versus testing yourself. And the Open is a fantastic random test. Hope everyone's doing well, and I'll talk to you a little bit more on the backside of this. Talk soon. Bye.
There you go. So this is my 23andMe dashboard. Here's my report overview, all reports. We'll go to Ancestry reports first. Is one I told you guys about. Click on View Reports. This is pretty cool. Ancestry composition. 100% European, as you see right here. View report. So, this is the breakdown of what parts of Europe I'm from. Or at least my DNA is from. 100% European of all 31 tested populations. Here's what I can tell you. Location, amount of your DNA that is similar DNA from other people of known ancestry. How ancestry is likely inherited from your biological parents. And then if my parents were to go ahead and do a 23andMe, I could then link in and it would further break down and determine from which parent I got what. Whether or not my parents do that is up to them, but I know that I have population from both of them, or at least I have my DNA from both of them. So, Northwestern European, here's my British Irish, 50%, French and German, 13.8%, Scandinavian, 1.3%, broadly Northwestern European, 26.5%, Southern European, 5.2%, Sardinian, 3.4%, Iberian, 0.6%, Balkan, less than 1%, broadly Southern, 1.2%, Eastern European, 1.2%, and broadly European, 1.2%. Don't seem to have any Asian, Oceania, or Middle Eastern, North African, Sub-Saharan Africa, or South Asian. So, pretty cool that I'm that, to see that. Let's close this. Where is the better breakdown? So if I click on this, here we go again. So this is kind of cool because if I click on here, it'll now show the parts of Europe which this breakdown is applicable to. If I click on British and Irish, it narrows it down to just the British Isles and the Irish Isle in Ireland right there. So that's a big chunk of it. French and German, boom, there I am. Central European. Scandinavian shows the Nordic countries. Now, if it says broadly Northern European, it shows all that. So when I go up here, now it shows that breakdown, which matches this color coding over here, this composition, if you will. And then down here, it gives a description of who it covers. So if I click on broadly European, much of Europe talks about the history of Europe. Pretty cool. Inheritance. And there's the break. It would be the breakdown for my parents if my parents were both on here. Let's go back to this is pretty cool. Scientific details, part of it is fairly interesting. This gives a breakdown of how this works, and of the population. So obviously in Europe, there's 13 population groups, 3 in Middle East or North Africa, 8 within Asia or East Asian. They only go 1 with broadly South Asian. Oceania, that'd be Australia and New Zealand. And then here's a breakdown of my DNA a little more interestingly. This is all interesting, but it's still in its infancy. It talks about populations, and all this grows over time. The more people who are involved in this, the more people who are part of 23andMe, the better it's going to be. And another one of the ancestry reports is, so you got haplogroups, but here's the cool one, right? So I love this, the Neanderthal ancestry. I love it. My Neanderthal variants are 300. More than 83% of the people who are currently in the 23andMe database. So cool. So I'm more Neanderthal than most. It's just cool to me to think that we have this kind of technology available to us. We're starting to gain this insight into our genetics, which to me is just awesome. It's amazing that we're progressing at such a rate, and we're gaining this kind of insight into our history, both as a species and as a part of a family genus, part of a larger family tree, and how it even still affects us today. So to think that my DNA and all of our DNA has traces of Neanderthals, which means our Neanderthals, our ancestors crossbred with Neanderthals. And that's cool, man. That's just awesome to me. All right, so that's a really quick basic rundown of my 23andMe. Here's the homepage showing, see how you compare to your those closest to you. There's ways I could go in here and I can do, I can open myself up to find out who I might connect with genetically, who might be genetic cousins. Well, and I guess, in a broader sense, we're all cousins, but through here, you can find out who you connect with on a genetic level to find out kind of what the dispersal of your larger genetic group is, which is pretty cool. Here's my Fitbit dashboard. It is not up to date, so let's go back to last sync just now. So let's see. Yep, recent exercise. Yeah, let's click on this. Kind of pretty cool. Actually, this must have been yesterday, so let's sync it now. There we go. That makes me more sense. So here's my steps today. My 7-day average, 11,421. Outdoor bike. Interesting. Let's go here. So, sorry. Here is my, according to the scale, and again, it's not a gold standard, so it's not something to really go off of, but 261.7, 29.6% BMI, or body fat, lean versus fat. Pretty cool to see these things graphed out. It's really important to understand that this number right here, this and this, are actually horrible metrics of health. If you think that this, through any standard right now that we have as far as measurement, or BMI. BMI is complete horseshit. It's horribly inaccurate. It was created by insurance companies as a standard, and it is junk. Although we still use it, unfortunately, the Western medical establishment is entrenched in this, and that's unfortunate. They need to move beyond that and come up. We need to come up with a better way of measuring not just what our body fat percentage is, but what does that mean? We need to better determine and do better studies to find out what the correlations are between lean mass, body fat, what the proper percentage is, what's healthy. There's kind of been a backslide. I remember when I was first going to school for personal training, between 15 and 18% was considered healthy lean. Between 12 and 15% was considered lean. Between 8 and 12 was athletic lean. And then anything under 8% was considered extremely lean but not maintainable. And now there's people that are, in the 6% range, and they're like, yeah, and it's like, fuck no, that's not healthy. In long term, it's not healthy or maintainable. And chances are our ancestors were not that lean, except in periods of where they didn't have food. Here's my sleep. This is pretty cool. This was last night, 7 hours, 13 minutes. Past couple days. So Sunday, again, Saturday into Sunday, I get shit tons of sleep. That's a lot of sleep. There's Friday into Saturday, not bad. But here, look at that. That's horrible. Not bad. Not bad. Again, anywhere between, like, if I'm over 5.5, closer to 6, I'm better off. As soon as I dip down here, man, it's horrendous. So, I need to get back to putting my water in, adding in my food. I haven't logged any food in a while. I need to get back into that. Other than that, the other metrics that are here are pretty good. I definitely get a shit ton of steps on average every day. So that's pretty cool right there. Let's go back to yesterday. Boom, that's yesterday. If we go to Saturday, much more active on Saturday. Go back to an average day. That's what it looks like for Friday. So I'm mobile a lot. As you can see, I'm much more mobile in the early morning as I'm coaching, and then definitely in the latter half of the day as I continue to coach. There's Thursday. There's Wednesday. And again, those trends as far as my activity in the morning and then in the afternoon pretty much holds true. Although I do walk around a lot getting shit done at work too. So pretty cool. I'm loving. Like I said, I'm enjoying this. It's not 100% accurate, but it's better than nothing, and an emerging technology that's very, very cool. And there's a lot to be done with it. There's a lot to be explored in both the Fitbit and the 23andMe. These are emerging technologies. These are emerging tools that combined are only going to get better and give us better insight into our overall health and well-being and our ancestry, and therefore potential what potential we might have for certain genetic predispositions to diseases and all kinds of things. So these two tools, in my eyes, are probably some of the coolest emerging technologies that can parlay and benefit health and well-being and how we understand and track our overall health and wellness. So extremely cool tools. I hope you guys enjoyed this little brief thing. That's all I got for this week. As it goes along, now that I figured it out, so long as this works, I'll do this more often. All right, cool. Hope you guys like this.
All right, there you have it. So I've walked you through my 23andMe and my Fitbit. It worked out pretty well. I'm happy with it. Again, thank you, Brian, for being my fucking tech support. By the way, guys, we're rocking the new pullover. Yeah. Sorry, Brian's going to probably laugh at the whole yeah. Anywho. Yeah, so I walked you guys through my 23andMe, gave you a quick overview of it. I gave you a quick snap shot a couple of the things on my Fitbit dashboard. Again, I think these are great tools. I think they're super fucking cool. I think these are cool emerging technologies that are in their infancy. Wearables and the idea of having your DNA analyzed and broken down and given a genetic snapshot. These things can only get better. And somehow, some way, when someone figures out how to make all in one, get these things to talk, forget about it, man. Fuck, whole nother level. Talk about biohacking. I mean, this is cool ass shit. You know, we look in the strength game, in sports. There's been this whole, you know, for a long time, the dirty little secret was PEDs, performance enhancing drugs. I think this is way cooler. I think screw performance enhancing drugs. Let's push the envelope of genetic analysis and then fine tuning work rest cycles and sleep cycles and diet. Let's take all these things and dial them in and find out what the true upper limits of human potential are before muddying the water with drugs, and maybe not even muddying the water with drugs. Possibly, if we're looking at the genetic profile of someone, and then based upon real thorough understanding of genetic profiles, we then are better able to dial in their diet, dial in their training protocols with the exact proper amount of rest, so that when they go hard. Find out what the right times are for them to do the right kind of training, be it Olympic weightlifting, pure strength training, Metcons, shorter, longer domains, work priorities, time priorities, all these things, right? So we have all of these tools available to us right now, but we haven't, they're in their early stages. They haven't, we haven't developed graphite hammers yet. These are all still fucking rock hammers. But if we do our due diligence, we can bring them to that graphite hammer like that. It's not going to take eons, but we have to invest. We have to put our time and energy into it. Fuck, man, this shit's so cool. We're talking preventative care. We're talking get out in front of it. Fuck healthcare costs. We don't even need to worry about it. Let's eat right. Let's work out properly. Let's move throughout our day. Let's get the right amount of sleep. Let's figure out ways to reduce stress. Find out what different stress thresholds are for different genetic profiles. Let's start really drilling down on this stuff and getting an understanding for it. Let's get research going that discovers this stuff. This is the real fountain of youth. This is so cool. Let's go down that path. So that's kind of what I'm excited to see. I think it's brave new world. Brave new world if we're going to go down that path. And obviously, the market's there. Wearables are an emerging market too, along with the 23andMe. I don't think they're the only genetic profile out there, although I think they're the most. Excuse me. I think they're the largest, at least that I know of. Although I could be wrong, and if I am, I'm sure someone listening will send me a text or an email saying, "Hey, Stefan, you dumbass, check this out." And if I'm a dumbass in this and I'm ignorant of it, I apologize. I am woefully ignorant, not willfully. So if you educate me, good to go. Hope you guys enjoyed it. I will, I'm going to get some video this week, working out, lifting, getting back on the platform this week. I finally laid out a program that's going to be good for me and doable. Tomorrow night will be my first night back on the platform in a long while. But I need to get there. Feeling pretty good overall. I'm going to be feeling better. Yeah, I'm excited. I'll be goddamned if I'm not better in my 40s than I was in my 30s. I turned 40 here in about 2 months. So, fuck it. Bring it. So what? Another decade. Another decade of growth. And the cool thing is, this might be the dusk of my 30s, but it's the dawn of my 40s. So I get to take everything I've learned in 4 4 decades of growth and apply it into this emergent 5th decade. And that's exciting shit, man. To be my age at this time with the emerging technologies, fuck yeah. Yeah, hell yeah. Bring it on. I'm excited for it. I hope you guys keep watching. And I have no idea what this following week of Unfiltered is going to bring, other than it'll be worthwhile, and I'm probably going to learn something. So hope you all are enjoying it. I hope this week is pretty good for y'all, informative, and we'll talk soon.